Good morning, children. I am Sumita Bhattacharya. Will be taking chemistry in standard 7. Today, here we will do with chapter 2, physical and chemical changes. Before that, you got the video for chapter 1 made by Miss Kabiri, and I think you have gone through that video and the chapter is clear to you. So today, let us start with the second chapter, that is physical and chemical change. This chapter, the name of the chapter is given as physical and chemical changes. So before that, I just want to tell you something, children, that already I have sent you the notes for this chapter. 11 pages of notes I have sent to you. You must have copied it down in your fair notebook. Before listening to the video, the note should be ready with you. Now you open the video. When you will watch the video, the notes should be with you, and take the book also. I will tell you when you have to open the book. Otherwise, you see the notes only. If the screen of the video is not visible properly, then please take out the note and see the note. I am explaining the whole thing that I have given in the note, and that 11 pages note is covering the whole chapter. And I'll send you 3 video clippings for the whole chapter. So let us first, the first clipping, the first link I'm sending for physical and chemical changes only. I have divided the chapter in 3 parts, and 3 different video link will be sent to you. Now let us start with the physical and chemical changes. In this chapter, the name of the chapter is given physical and chemical change, but along with physical and chemical changes, there are other type of changes are also involved. The first thing, the different types of changes. Number 1 is physical and chemical changes. Number 2 is desirable and undesirable changes. Number 3, exothermic and endothermic changes. And number 4, reversible and irreversible changes. So all these 4 types of changes we will discuss in this chapter. So let us first discuss what is physical and chemical change. Physical change. Every day when every day morning you can see that sun is rising in the east, and in the evening it is setting down in the west. Again in the morning, next day morning, it is rising in the east. So there is a change. Okay, suppose you want to make rice. So what you are doing, you are taking rice, raw rice grain, and then you are cooking, and after that the rice that you are getting, that is a cooked rice, and you can eat that rice. And from that rice, cooked rice, you cannot get back again the raw rice grain. So there is a change. If you are burning a paper, you will get something different thing, like ash type of thing. So from ash you cannot get back the paper again. So there is a change. Formation of day and night. This is also a change. So every day we are seeing that so many changes are happening. So what is a physical change? A change in which a substance changes its physical form, only the physical form, and no new substance is formed. There is a change with that no new substance is forming because of the change. Only its physical appearance, only its color, its texture can be changed, but not that composition of that compound is changing. No, nothing new is forming. That is a physical change. What is that? The examples: changing of water into ice, and from ice it is changing to water, from water it is changing to again ice. There is a change. You are changing ice to water and water to ice. So there is a change. Okay. What is that? Take some water, keep it in the freezer. After some times, what you will get? You will get some ice. The ice is forming. And now you want to make water again from ice. Take out the ice from the freezer. Keep it in the room temperature for some times. And you will see that the ice melted and it will form water. So that means what? From water only you are getting ice. From ice only you are getting water. It is only the change in state. No new substance is forming, and because of that it is the composition is remaining same. Only the state, one is in the solid state, another is in liquid state. So this is a physical change. Next is suppose you want to blend a smoothie, fruit with milk. So what you are doing, you take some fruits and take some milk, and then you just churn it in a mixer, and then after some times what you will get? You will get a semi type of thing which you can it is retaining the property of the fruits as well as the milk. You are not getting any new thing, you are only just mixing these two things, and because of the mixing you are getting a semi-solid thing. You are not getting milk, you are not getting fruit. These two are mixing together. You are mixing them together and you are getting something. The same product you are getting it, but it is in the other form. No new substance is forming. So it's a physical change. Cutting of vegetable. Suppose you want to cut vegetable. Now you are taking big pieces of vegetable, you are just cutting it, making it into the small pieces, but you are not cooking. So what is happening? Just only the form. Previously it was a big piece, now you are getting the small pieces. Nothing new is forming. Cooking vegetable is something else. I am coming to that. But just cutting of vegetable is a physical change. I think you don't have any problem now. Next is your characteristics of physical change. So what are the characteristics? What are the properties? What are the things that I am getting from a physical change? The physical change is the first point is physical change is a temporary change. It's a temporary change. If you are revert back the condition, if you are just again you are going back to the condition, you are just reversing the condition, you are getting back the compound again, the material again. Now it can be reversed in most of the cases. In some of the cases you cannot reverse the thing again. You cannot reverse that change. Suppose you are cutting the vegetable. Now the small pieces cannot be you cannot just join them together and you cannot get the big piece of vegetable. But it is a physical change. But most of the cases it can be reversed. In the most of the cases you can do that. Like ice to water and water to ice, you can reverse it back. Next is no change brought about in the chemical composition or structure of the substance involved. No change brought about the chemical composition. As I told you that chemical composition is not changing. It is remaining, the chemical composition is remaining as it is. Okay, structure or chemical composition is not changing. Am I clear to you, children? Now, the last point, last characteristics of sometimes physical properties be possible. Shape or color may not change. Now, action time 1 in page number 12, it is given in your book. I have explained it here. You need not to see the book right now. Just listen to me. After I finish my video, you open the book and read the book. I think everything will be clear to you. Now, what is that? What your action time is saying? When you will go through the book, you can find it that it is saying that to show that melting of ice is a physical change. And I told you also that take some ice, take some water, keep it in the freezer, you will get ice, and just you take out the ice from the freezer, keep it in the room temperature for some times, then you will get water. So it is a physical change. No new substance is forming. Its composition is not changing. So this conclusion I can get from here. What is the conclusion? That no new substance is formed. Only the change brought about its state and no change brought about its characteristics. Okay, so melting of ice is a physical change. I think it is clear to you. Now next is your chemical change. So physical change you have understood, children. Now come to the chemical change. The chemical change that had to change in chemical composition. That means now what? If you are doing some change, if there is a change, then its chemical composition will also change. It will no more remain as the previous material you have started. The initial material you will not get now. It's a chemical change. It's a total new thing is forming. Okay. Now its property is changing, its composition is changing, everything is changing. These changes result in the formation of a new product. Most of the chemical changes are irreversible. Physical change is a reversible change most of the cases, but chemical change, it's an irreversible change in most of the cases. What are the example? As I told you, that burning of paper. If you are burning a paper, you will get, after burning the paper, you will get some ash. It will no more remain as paper. Now if you want to change, if you want to get back the paper again from the ash, it is not possible. Is it possible, children? It is not possible. So totally a new thing is forming, whose composition is totally different from that of the previous one, what you have taken. Similarly, as I told you, cooking food, cooking rice. As you have cooked the rice, you are getting the cooked rice. It is done, it is done. You cannot get back the raw rice grain again from the cooked rice. You are making vegetable. After cutting the vegetable, you are cooking it. So you are getting a totally new thing whose composition, whose structure, everything is different from the raw vegetable. This is a chemical change. That means there is a permanent change. Okay, bursting of crackers. After the crackers burst, you are burning the crackers. Then after that, you are getting only the ash. Okay, so these all are chemical changes. Example of chemical change. Curdling of milk. You want to make curd from milk. So once you make the curd from milk, you cannot get back the milk again from the curd. So these are all chemical change. Another example I have written here, rusting of iron. Now rusting of iron is a chemical change. Rusting of iron, I'll come afterwards again. Just let me tell you here a little bit. Rusting of iron is if you are taking iron in iron piece and keep it for some days outside, then because of the moisture and oxygen present in the atmosphere, that iron will take the oxygen and the moisture from the atmosphere, and with this two, iron will react together and it will form iron oxide. It will form iron oxide, and that iron oxide is a red color substance, and it will form a layer over the iron object. That means what? The first layer of the iron is now being reacted with moisture and the oxygen present in the atmosphere. For rusting an iron, these two required, moisture and oxygen. Okay, so it is forming iron oxide and it is giving you a red coating over the iron material. So you are not getting the iron. Now it is a coating formation. Now this coating is a permanent one. You cannot remove that coating. So it's a chemical change. I'll come to this afterwards again. Now, irreversible change. It's a permanent change and it's an irreversible change. Once it is formed. This change happened. A chemical change occurs when a new substance is formed. The new product has different properties than that of the original one. The new product what is forming, that is having a different property than the original one, that already I told you. The chemical structure and composition of the new product gets altered. The chemical structure and the composition of the new product is totally different from that of the original one. This already I told you also. Now last point is very important, that is heat is released or absorbed during a chemical change. When a chemical change is occurring, some heat is either evolved or released, or heat is absorbed. Now I'm just elaborating this point. Before that, let me tell you what is action time 2. The action time 2 in page number 12 also it is given in your book to show that formation of curd from milk is a chemical change. Now you want to make curd from the milk. What you are doing, you are taking some lukewarm milk and then keep it in a bowl, and then you add 1 tablespoon of curd to it, and then you stir it properly, and then keep that lukewarm milk mixing with the curd. Just keep it for sometimes for overnight. You leave it overnight. Then after next day, what you will get, next day you'll see that the milk changes to curd. Okay, now this is a chemical change because you cannot get back the milk again from the curd. So what is the conclusion from this experiment we can draw? That the change in milk results in the formation of a new product. It's totally a new product. It cannot be reversed back to milk again. That what I told you, the composition and the structure of the curd is totally different to that of the milk. So formation of curd is a chemical change. Okay, am I clear to you, children? Now action time 3. What is action time 3 is saying? Action time 3 is saying to show that the gas is evolved during a chemical change. The example, what is the example? Take some baking soda, pour it in a balloon. Now you have a bottle and put some vinegar in the bottle. You are taking baking soda, you will get baking soda. You can be available at home and baking soda. Mama is making cake for you, the baking soda is required. You ask your mama, mama will tell you. Now take some baking soda and just put little amount of the baking soda in the balloon, and then you take a bottle and in that bottle put some vinegar. Now close the open end of the bottle with the balloon, okay, and allow the baking soda to fall into the vinegar. Okay, now what you will see, as you allow the baking soda to fall into the vinegar, you will see that some effervescence is a new word for you. The bubbles are coming out. Some bubbles are coming out. Bubbles, it is known as effervescence. This is a new word. I have written in your notebook. You just see, and I have underlined it also. Effervescence. It's a new word. From the next time, I'll tell effervescence only. I'll not say bubble. It's a bubble formation. That effervescence will come. You will see. You'll observe the effervescence is coming out, and because of that, because of the reaction of baking soda and the vinegar is acetic acid. The baking soda and vinegar, these two react, will produce carbon dioxide gas, and because of that, the production of the gas, you'll see that the balloon, it will little bit inflated. Okay, so that means what? Because of the reaction going on, a gas is coming out. This is also an example of chemical change. A totally new thing is forming. Okay, and the balloon is little bit, not the full balloon. It's not a full inflated balloon, but the balloon, will see that the balloon is inflating a little bit. So it's the chemical change, and it's an example of saying that the gas is evolved during a chemical change. I told you about, I'll tell you something about that, the characteristics, that is last characteristics that I have given in page number 3, that is heat is released or absorbed during a chemical change. For this I'll come again in the exothermic and endothermic change. Just let me tell you in very short, that is exothermic change where heat is evolved for some reactions, and endothermic change when heat is absorbed. Exothermic change, the example of exothermic change, suppose you are burning a candle and then the heat is, because of the burning of the candle, you cannot put your hand over the flame. Okay, why? Because you'll feel hot in your hand. That means what? Heat is coming out, heat is going away, heat is released because of this reaction. This is a reaction. The burning of candle is a reaction. Reaction is happening because of the burning of the candle only. The candle is getting shorter day by day. Actually, when you burn a candle, then water vapor and carbon dioxide is released. Okay. Along with that, melting of wax is also there. I'll come to that afterwards. Now see here, let me tell you one thing. Two things are happening when you're burning a candle. Once the candle is burning and another the candle is, some wax is melting. And wax is melting is a physical change. That is why you are getting again some wax after when you are burning the candle. Some of the wax is getting melted. That is a physical change. And some of the wax, wax, it is burning, and because of the burning, carbon dioxide and water vapor is coming out. Okay, so it is a chemical change, and because of that, heat is released. You are burning a paper, heat is released, and that is why it is hot. You cannot touch it. Okay, it is an example of heat released during a chemical change. Heat released during a chemical change. Another good example I can give you, that is the mixing of quicklime with water, that I will tell you afterwards. Okay, when I'll explain exothermic reaction, I'll explain this to you. And endothermic reaction means heat is absorbed. Now take every day in the summer season, when you are going home from school, then you are drinking glucose water. Okay, now take some glucose and keep it in your tongue, and after some times you will feel a coolness in your tongue. You know why? Because glucose, for the melting, it is required some heat from somewhere. So it is taking heat from your tongue, and that is why you are feeling a coolness in your tongue. This is an endothermic reaction. Heat is absorbed. When I will say endothermic, again I will explain this. Now, difference between physical and chemical change. So this is difference between physical and chemical change is all the things that I have told you. It is already given in your book, that is page number 13 and table number 2.1. Please go through that table and learn the physical and difference between physical and chemical change from that table only. It is given very nicely, and that is why I have not written here. And remember that the first point, when you will write the physical and chemical change difference, always write the definition as the first point. In that way, your definition also you can. Okay, now what I'm saying, that the first video I'm ending here only. The next video I'll start from the desirable and undesirable changes. That is the rest of the changes are there. So I'll send you a different link for that desirable and undesirable change, and I'll start my video with page number 4 only. That is the last. It is written desirable and undesirable change, only one line, but I'll start from that, and then I'll go to the next page. So I'm sending the link for this video. This is physical and chemical change, and then after that again the second link I will send you for other 3 changes, and the last video I will send you for the last part of the chapter. Okay, so 3 videos I will send. Okay children, bye bye.